On April 30th, Roxe Large began her role as director of Comanche Nation's newest organization, Missing and Murdered Indigenous People. She says she always wanted to be involved with MMIP and is new to the organization.
It's something that I've always wanted to do, like the passion was always there. Always wanted to get involved, but having a full-time job, and then I feel like I've been in school for like half my life, so that like consumed majority of my time. So I really never got a chance to get involved like I really wanted to.
Large said she wanted to start an organization outside of Comanche Nation. Her background is in legal studies and social services.
After graduating Cameron University with a Bachelor's of Science in Sociology and a minor in Criminal Justice, then I worked in social services for 4 years as a caseworker, received my Master's of Legal Studies in Indigenous Peoples Law, and then made that transition to the tribal court as executive assistant for 2 years.
Large wanted to expand her background in legal work.
I wanted to make that transition into the legal field, which is something I was always passionate about, which was law. As an undergraduate, I always knew I wanted to get into like the legal field, and so I applied at OU for a Master's of Legal Studies in Indigenous Peoples Law, and so that's where I learned about the tribal sovereignty and like the trilateral relationship between the federal government and tribal government, and also with the state, because with those laws it's very complicated.
Her goal for MMIP and the Comanche Nation community is to seek restorative justice for the families of missing persons and the missing person as well.
Also to provide MMIP awareness for the community so that they are aware about the crimes associated with missing persons, which could be like domestic violence, it could be stalking, kidnapping, human trafficking, any of those violent crimes. And then just to educate people about, the procedures for a missing person, and to also understand like the legal procedures, with the relationship between the federal government and with, BIA, and the state, and then our tribal government.
Large also wants to make time for the families and make connections throughout the community.
So they feel like they have somewhere to turn, because often when these families turn to law enforcement agencies, often they just don't have the manpower, or they don't have the education, or there's different factors, and often, they're turned away, or they just don't provide, that justice. And because dealing with the indigenous population, we have a unique identity.
She said those interested can be active with MMIP by contacting the office or attending outreaches and events. Large said flyers and advertisements will also be available.
A lot of people don't even know what MMIP is. And then like I said, learning the legal realm of it, it's very confusing. So I think once that's generated in the community, then we can kind of become that voice for the families of missing persons.
She said the department is essential because it closes the information gap.
Because unfortunately, our indigenous people are the ones that fell through the cracks of the criminal justice system. And so I think we fulfill that necessary gap in between law enforcement and the women's shelter and victim services and social services. And so I think this is what Comanche Nation needed for those families.
Large said she hopes to set up a website for people to contact the department. However, she can be contacted at 580-713-8999 and at roxe.large@comanchenation.com. Reporting for the Comanche Nation, PIO News, Natasha Mercadante.